This season really started out tough for all of us. We all had this big plan for coming into this deer season. We had all these ideas about, what these deer from last season are going to look like, and are these deer still going to be around? And everything seemed like it was working against us all through the season. A couple of our pro staffers were pretty fortunate right off the beginning, getting some nice bucks down. But we had a couple of pro staffers that stuck with it through there, and this really became what we wanted to call this episode, Rut Dreams. Combat in the Wild is brought to you in part by Mossy Creek Game Calls, Fortner Taxidermy, Baines Army Store, L&L Farm Mart, and Northwest Missouri Outfitters.
2012 deer season's here, and a couple of our pro staff members have already killed some pretty good deer on film. Me, myself, I've been sticking with my bow in hopes to kill a big one. Bow season has pretty much came and went with a couple of good deer already seen out of the stand, but without any luck. And gun season has opened up, and hopefully all the time I've spent at the stand will pay off with a big deer with my bow.
September 8th, opening day, 2012 deer season, bow season. We're up here in a pine tree. We haven't gotten any pictures of any most wanted list bugs because we're slapping 8 on the dogs. Can't put any kind of a track in front of the trail camera. But we're here anyway. They're here. We just haven't seen them yet. So we're thinking about slipping down and seeing if we can't stick a hog. We'll see. Stay tuned. Well, here it is, October 15th. Hunting in the big field. Put up a new stand this past weekend. Across from where we had one. There's like a lot of deers using this side, so. Already had a 3-pointer come out and a bunch of gobblers. Had to take Corey's camera when we left it up here when he hunted here yesterday after that. It's a little windy, but maybe we can get it done this evening. Let's take a listen. Here it is, opening day of rifle season. It's October 20th here in Georgia. And I've had some action this morning. Hunting with Anthony McEver down in Hancock County. He's sitting about, I think, 2 stands now from me. And Corey sitting in a spot. And pretty nice night. Come by. And you can walk 400 yards from this one. As far as I can see that way, which is about 200 yards. And walked all the way down the power line. So I think the big bugs are starting to cruise a little bit. Let's sit back and see what happens.
On this afternoon's hunt, I'm not expecting to see a lot of deer because the wind's pretty high. I decide I'm going to do a little bit of calling, grunt call, rattling horns. I got my Mossy Creek game call lure out. Hopefully I'm going to be able to catch a buck's attention. Well, it's October 28th. This morning, I don't even think I talked to the camera but once. It was a pretty productive morning. Deer were cruising. This afternoon though, we got a front pushing through and it's, I think, 18 miles per hour out of the northwest. I was a little late getting to the stand, but as I was setting up, a 3-pointer come in. So the deer are moving, so that's a good thing. And I'm set up over a hillside full of white oaks and got a thick bed in there about 100 yards away, so maybe we'll see some deer. I don't know. Should have brought my safety harness this evening. Let's see what we can see. Well, I've rattled this buck within bow range, and he is on lockdown trying to find the other 2 bucks that were making the noise, or making the fight. Well, I just shot a buck. It may not be the biggest thing in the world, but I've been hunting hard, still filming. I actually hit the horns right before he come running in. Got me all worked up. The shot looked a little too forward, but I didn't get very good penetration, but hopefully that two-blade raise did his job. I'm pretty acorn. Hunting in Jones County on my personal land. Things at the river is a little different, but Jones County we got 40 acres and I've never killed 2 bucks with my bow, so I'll be tickled if I can recover this one. That was pretty exciting. I reviewed the footage and I knew I shot him a little far forward, but I thought he smelled me. I thought he was about to get out of there, so I took the shot and I didn't find anything where I shot him when I got down and looked, so I just climbed back up in the stand. It was a little after 6, called Jim, telling him I needed help tracking the deer tonight. And he's been expired, well, he ain't expired, but hopefully he is. He's been down for about 2 hours, so we're about to pick up the blood trail. I found my ear, I could see it flashing from the stand. It broke off and only went in about 6 inches. So hopefully we can find a deer at the end of this blood trail.
That's good.
Came up on some real good blood, so hopefully it won't be too much further up this little beaten path.
Yeah. That looks good there, Joe. That looks good. Look there. All right, my man. Told you not to be worried. Dang rage. Ain't gonna play.
He didn't go as far as I thought he would. He couldn't tote that rage. Well, there he is. My 3rd bow buck. And he's still. He's been dead a while.
Heck yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
That's a good brow. Well, I've hunted hard. past couple of years, I didn't kill a buck last year. Got a new bow, and I said I was going to try to stick with it most of the season. And this just happened too perfect. I'm down here on my family land in Jones County. It was windy as best. We had that big cold front come through, and I think it was 18 miles per hour wind. And I was just spinning in the tree today. Finally, it calmed down for a few seconds, and I decided to rattle. And boy, this boy come charging in. And I had two perfect opportunities to video and get a kill shot with my bow. And I'm tickled to death with him. He ain't a monster, but he is a big body deer.
That body's huge on that thing, Joey.
Whitetail, and I'm tickled to death. Two of us fit down through here sideways.
I'm glad I'm the cameraman. You're doing a fine job, Joey.
Jim, I think we've reached some open ground. I think you can grab one side of the horn.
So I can go with them now. Dadgummit.
Your camera duty's over with right now.
I like being the cameraman at this point in time.
All right, let's get into the truck.
All right.
Well, I got it done. I killed my first buck on video, self-filming. Had it not been for Mossy Creek Game Call's buck urine, this deer would have not hung around long enough for me to get the shot opportunity I needed to harvest this animal. The deer was only 10 yards away, and he was looking for the other two bucks, and I had the right amount of time to put a two-blade rage in him, and I couldn't be happier with this deer.
So here's my dad's big debut in the combat in the wild. He's shown up a little bit in some of the videos, but he's never actually had, you know, his own hunt. That was his hunt involved in the show. But he started out the season really well and killed a really nice buck. He didn't get the deer on film to say. He got a little bit of the deer when he came in, and he ended up getting the recovery, but I'm really glad that he ended up getting the buck down. I'm glad he did get the little bit of video he did. And, you know, it was a start. You know, now he really wanted to get that second buck on film.
Didn't get the shot on film because the deer first came out. After the doe came out, I think the doe heard my camera, saw me move, spooked, and the deer spooked and left the field before I could get a shot off, and then he came right back, and I didn't have time to get the camera ready to get the shot on film. So we get the before and the after.
So now we fast forward a couple days. Dad got his first buck, and it was no time after that he actually ended up getting an opportunity at the biggest deer he's ever killed in his life. And the deer he ended up seeing in his second hunt was a buck that we had a little bit of history with last year. This deer we named Mystical. And the reason for that was because we were seeing this deer pretty regularly, but we'd only seen him when we were like driving around, or we just happened to seeing him across the backside of this pond. And we were trying to get pictures of him on the trail camera. We were having a really tough time. We actually ended up getting 2 pictures of him. And as soon as we saw the pictures, we were like, man, what happened to this deer? Because you can see in the picture the front of his beam was busted off, and he did it when he was growing in velvet. Well, we fast forward from that point on into bow season, and I had one encounter with him. I think it was the 3rd week of bow season, and he came in behind a set that I had hung in that specific area to see if I could get a look at him, and he ended up coming in right behind the set and wouldn't offer me a shot. And I'm kind of glad we didn't actually get a shot at him because of what he actually ended up turning into. gets his shot at Mystical. He's still carrying the muzzleloader, even though it's rifle season. He was bound to determine that he was going to shoot a few deer with this new muzzleloader he got. You know, and when he came back and told me, he's like, man, I just shot a huge buck, a giant buck. And as soon as I saw the video, I knew exactly what deer he had shot. I think he was kind of skeptical about the shot. He told me he felt like he put a good shot on him, but I just didn't know because he seemed kind of unsure. But still, we need to go out and go look for him. So give him a little bit of time and started the track.
Well, we shot this monster buck this evening and he ran off, so I hope I hit him good, but we got to look for him because we ain't found him yet. So now comes the fun part, trying to find a deer in the dark.
The deer from last year too.
A nice deer, so we got to hope he's out there somewhere that we can bring him home and put him on combat in a while. Y'all ready to go look for him?
Go find us, man.
Probably.
So we ended up tracking this buck about probably 175 yards and ended up jumping him. And at that point, when we jumped him at that last point, I knew that we needed to go ahead, back out, wait till the morning, and we had a perfect person to call. Gary Lewis and his champion tracking dog.
Yeah, there were some photos you tracked that deer for the other way.
This dog do the work for us, and hopefully we'll have a good outcome.
Spots on it, man. We didn't want to give up. Brother.
All right.
Look at that.
Good job, Rudy.
Good job.
We got it.
Yes, sir. I want to see where he roll him over and see where he come out of there.
I don't think he come out.
Angle back.
Yeah,
He was like quartering forward. Yeah. I'm so glad y'all found the blood. So I walked through a while ago, but I walked right down below there to go back where he was at.
Yeah, he stood up and stand. I said, is Bruce being still over there? He said, yeah, he's hanging around right in that spot.
Easy round, baby. Smile for the camera. Well, here he is, deer from last night's muzzleloader hunt that we didn't find till today, but we don't figure he probably hadn't been dead more than a couple of hours when we found him because he ain't really stiffened up, but he's everything I thought he was. He's a nice 9-pointer, huge deer. Good body weight, good size, mature deer. Made a good shot on him, but with a 50 caliber muzzleloader, but he still ran and made a hard track. But we got a good dog out of Hancock County, and the dog did a good job staying with him and just kept looking and we all kept searching till took till after 1 o'clock today to find the deer, but we found him, and that's all that counts. And I'm real happy with this deer. It's gonna look good on my wall or Tyler's wall, wherever he ends up. That shows what happens when you let small deer go and let your deer grow and get mature and see what they can be if they live long enough to be monster bucks.
Well, a big congratulations goes out to the pro staff. You know, I'm so happy that Joey stayed with the bow. He made that pact and it paid off in the end. Even when there was the most adverse weather conditions, he still showed that with persistence and right method, you can actually still go out there and hunt just as good as any other time. And also a big congratulations goes out to my dad for killing his biggest buck to date. And I am sure happy we get to close the book one of those bucks that we might have thought we had rode off and he might have disappeared. But look, he comes back in flying colors and shows you what a little bit of time with a buck and letting him become mature, what he can really turn into. We would like everyone to go onto our Facebook page and make sure to click like. You'll stay up to date with all of our most recent endeavors, and also you have a chance to get in some great contests and maybe win some really cool prizes. And also make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel.